Hey there, Kyle Souza here. Thanks for tuning in. It's been a minute since I've made a video. I am trying to get things organized, as you can see with the disaster behind me. My blog is talkinggeek.com. Let's get to this comic book. In particular, the World's Greatest Heroes Holiday Special #1 from DC in partnership with Walmart back in 2018 for their 100-page giant series. This one has an all-new Flash story and then several reprint stories ranging from 1991 to 2016. And so The Flash in Twas the Riot Before Christmas is the brand new story. It starts off with that. The Flash makes a pit stop at Iron Heights Prison before spreading holiday cheer throughout Central City. I like this one. It's a nice little feel-good story. It starts with Barry in the middle of a fight and then goes back a little bit, as many of his stories do, as to how he got there. And he was going to a orphanage to spread some presents, helping Santa Claus out. And then there's a riot at the prison. He goes there. All the supervillains have broken loose. Spoiler alert. Okay, so spoiler alert on all this. The trickster has set off a device that is causing this riot. He ends up working with Captain Cold, though, to get everything fixed, and a good Christmas Eve is had by all. Except for Trickster, I guess, and the inmates that are still in prison. Then we get Superman in Metropolis Mailbag. Superman spends the night reading letters from around the world asking for his help. Though the last son of Krypton can bend steel with his bare hands, there are still some things even Superman can't do. Man, this story will give you the feels. This one's the longest one in the book. Go from page 14 to page 41. And it's also the oldest one in the book. I think it's the 1991 story based on the artwork from it. I know in here somewhere it says the details of that. It's a great story, though. Superman basically goes on a mission. All his mail gets saved up for him at the Metropolis post office all year long, and then he spends 2 days going through it. Lois Lane helps him out, and he tries to make a few Christmas miracles happen for people. And it talks a little bit about people trying to use them for get rich quick schemes and things like that. But then he helps out a Holocaust survivor. He has to explain to a little boy that even though he's Superman, that doesn't mean he can do anything. There are things he can't do, and he's just part of the story where a woman decides to help out somebody else in need through the death of her husband. And so it's a great story. It's a great story. Supergirl in All I Want for Christmas. Supergirl helps answer Superman's Christmas requests, including one from a little girl whose only Christmas wish is to have her dad home again. Now, this story has to be from at least 10 years after the first story, if not more. Again, based on the artwork there, probably more like 15 years afterwards. And it's a good story, too. Not as good. Supergirl's quite funny in the story, in my opinion. Gets into the whole Jesus Santa Claus thing, and I always enjoy a little bit of banter on that, because if you were coming into this holiday not being raised in it, there's a lot about Christmas that doesn't quite make sense, but we all just go with it because it's what we're used to. So it's a good story, and not as good as the one beforehand, in my opinion. It's hard to beat that Metropolis and Mailbag story. But still a good one. Then you get Batman and Alfred in Good Boy. Alfred rescues a dog who escapes the Joker's abuse and hopes the pup makes the perfect present for the impossible to buy for Caped Crusader. So this is the story, or one of the stories, of how Bruce gets Ace. Right? If anybody's familiar with Ace or Bat Dog, this is a story about it. And really, Alfred is the main character, working with the dog, training the dog. Funny little clip at the end where Alfred doesn't quite buy that Batman is the world's greatest detective. I enjoy little plays, a little tongue-in-cheek commentary like that. All right, Batwoman in Light in the Dark. Batwoman's Hanukkah tradition is interrupted when mysterious villain plunges Gotham City into darkness. Okay, I didn't really like the artwork on this one, especially of faces, particularly the guys' faces. The hair was good, like the hair was great, but the faces not so good. That's just in general. Particularly the guys' faces were bad, and the girl's hair was good. But back to the story. It's a short story. It does uh, bring in one other character, Kit, there, and it's interesting to see that they're tying in non-Christmas holidays during this holiday special and holiday time, and even at the end of the Flash story, Captain Cold says he's Jewish, and so it was just good to see that because these stories should be, in my opinion, inclusive for people, and the characters in them should be representative of everybody, and we shouldn't force inclusion. But if you have a character that's established as a certain kind of person, and as they should be established from the very beginning, rather than having to retcon different attributes onto somebody, if you make them that kind of person from the very beginning, you get to tell a very true story about them. And so I felt like they did a good job there and Light in the Dark with Batwoman. Then we get a funny little one with Harley Quinn and Killing Time. Harley Quinn tries to prevent a new year from beginning. This one's just a silly story. There is a little bit of some four-letter words, and there are one or two of them. But it's a funny story. She has a dog sled that even includes a cat. Also includes like a dachshund. It's like stray dogs. It's a fun little silly story. Green Lanterns in the Epiphany. A mission on Three Kings Day pits the Green Lanterns against each other. Can Jessica Cruz and Simon Baz find a way to work together? Okay, so that story was the most disappointing to me because it should have been longer. It went from page 84 to the end of the book, and it just feels like there was some interruption there with ads and whatnot, but it feels like it just should have been longer. And that's the Three Kings Day story. Basically, these three aliens come and they test the Green Lanterns. I think it could have been a longer story and a more interesting story, especially with those two characters and how diverse they are. But all in all, great read, good book, worth the $5 in my opinion when I picked it up 2 years ago. I'm just now telling people about it. Always love the Flash though, and his Rogues Gallery is a fun one. His relationship to his Rogues Gallery is a really interesting one that you don't get with many other superheroes. The camaraderie that he has with some of these villains is a dynamic that I've loved about the Flash for a while now. Not that he's always had it, but even going back even into the 90s, it was there when Wally took over. But then you've got Barry Allen came back. Anyways, won't get into all that. It's a great book. Pick it up. Check out some other holiday stories. If you are interested in comics and want to get other people involved in them, maybe some holiday stories are a good way to get them interested and involved. So I don't know why they wouldn't be anyways. All right, I'm Kyle Souza. My blog is talkinggeek.com. Please like, share, comment below on this and other videos if you enjoyed them. And if you didn't enjoy them, you can still do all those things. Won't stop you.